Spartans off to another good start here at the Breslin Center, 8-4, and we are just over 4 minutes into the ball game.
Michigan State establishing control, being very determined, and putting a lot of pressure on Central Michigan. They're playing their game.
Spartans staying in the zone defense. Molly Munns from the corner, a little short. The rebound comes down to Beth Kindle.
And rebounding is one area where Michigan State did not do very well against Dayton. Coming in tonight, I know that was one area Coach P was really focusing on, was trying to shore up on the rebounds.
Dayton, the first team to out-rebound Michigan State this year. Kindle lights it up.
It really is a hallmark of the kind of philosophy and game Coach McCallie is installing to make sure that defense is preeminent, because D wins games.
Well, you know what Al McGuire says?
What does Al McGuire say?
Offense sells tickets, defense wins championships.
And it's true, because defense is a mentality. It's kind of an effort type of thing. You don't have to be real talented, but if you give that hustle and effort, you're going to be good on the defensive end.
Chippewas with a chance to catch up or take a lead on this shot right here, and they do.
Desiree Eitzen feeling it for Central Michigan. Not typical of her to be an offensive threat.
She's got 7 points right now, and the Chippewas with a 1-point lead.
Eitzen's been averaging almost 11.5 points a game, so she's asserting herself in a role.
Shot clock at 10 now as Minarice drives. The lefty will shoot off the back iron, and rebound comes down to Vershawn Jones. And we've got another held ball called. Julie Pagel getting her money's worth defensively. Chippewas have the arrow, so they will keep the ball but lose the arrow.
And Vershawn Jones, a very good rebounder for Central Michigan. On that possession, though, when she got the rebound, she kept it down low, and that allowed Julie Pagel to get in there and try and get the jump ball.
Tracy, this full court pressure, when you run it all game long like Michigan State does under the new coaching staff, who does that wear out first, the defense or the offense?
Well, I think it's trying to wear out the offense. Sometimes the defense gets a little weary, but you just want to control the tempo, maybe give Central Michigan not enough time on the shot clock, work the ball a little bit.
Loose ball underneath. Jennifer Collier seems to have it. It's still loose. The shot clock reset that time as Munns puts it up. Pagel with the board. Again, the ball is loose. And now it's Molly Munns resetting.
A little sloppy ball handling on the part of the Spartans, and that's going to yield turnovers that the coach clearly does not want.
Three-pointer missing from the corner from Eitzen. Long lead pass to Salscheider. Did she take a step? No. She got the lay-in, though, and the Spartans are back up by a point.
Great transition there. That all started with that that defensive rebound by Jen Collier. She got a great rebound, outletted it, and got their transition game going.
Now, some might call that a Hail Mary pass. It was a pretty good toss. Abby now with 6 points.
Shot clock in single digits now at 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and a shot just beating the buzzer, and Collier, it's Pagel with the board. Pass tipped out of bounds to Michigan State.
Looks like it tipped off the fingers of Vershawn Jones.
Well, we have a wave of substitutions now as Erin Skelly, Candace Jackson, and Maria Recker come into the game for Jennifer Collier, Christy Fung, and Abby Salscheider.
So what's the coach's comment in a sense when she makes that kind of move? How do you interpret that as a player?
As far as the substitution goes?
Right, you've got 3 coming in.
Erin Skelly, by the way, quickly with the bucket. Spartans now ahead by 3.
I think you kind of take it however you want, but for her, I think she just wants to give them a rest and try and get some people in there that maybe can contribute in some different ways. Right now she's not getting the contributions that she wants maybe from Abby and Jen Collier at this point, so wants to get some fresh legs in there.
Now she started Maria Recker a couple of times, but not this game.
Yeah, I think she's still trying to find out what lineup is going to give her the most consistency, because right now that's one area they're lacking. They don't have another shooter, another offensive threat like a Julie Pagel with Becky Cummings sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
Desiree Eidson mixing it up down low with Erin Skelly. Skelly gets the foul. Eidson gets the shots. She misses one and makes one. It's a 2-point Spartan lead.
Central Michigan wanting to incorporate their own press here and try and control the tempo of Michigan State.
Yeah, defensively, they've not been strong if they're giving up 74 points a game.
You're exactly right.
Maria Recker a little long, and we have a foul underneath. I believe it'll be Skelly for number 2.
And Michigan State hasn't faced a lot of zone this year, so it'll be interesting to see how they react to it. It forces their outside perimeter game to step up and try and knock down some jumpers. Their inside game is going to be a little bit difficult to do because with the inside.
Collier comes in for Skelly, and now into the game for Central Michigan. Little number 4, a 5'3" freshman, Tara Petrie from Pickerington, Ohio.
Someone who gives hope to us all.
Well, of course, us all. I mean, Tracy's up there.
I'm 5'11".
Michigan's going by the... Yeah, that's right.
By the minute.
And looking at Tara Petrie, I think 5'3" might be stretching it just a shade.
Right. When Erin Skelly went over to the bench, one of the assistants so grabbed her by the shorts and said, "Wait, come on, sit down just a second right by me. We're going to talk."
That's Petrie right there. Any match she's in is a mismatch for her. Shortest MSU player is Christy Pung at 5'5", but Petrie will light it up from the corner.
And this Central Michigan team, like we said at the outset, very streaky, and when they get going, watch out, you've got to make sure a hand is in their face.
CMU takes the lead back. It's 13-12 as we approach the midway mark of the first half. Pagel is open, so she shoots. And the rebound comes down to Petrie, and a push is called on Minna Reese. It's a good call. A little bit careless by Minna.
Minna hasn't been consistent.
Foul on number 40, Minna Reese.
She's really come along with her three-point shooting this year, though. Leading the team, shooting 500 from three-point range, but never any need to push a 5'3" player going for a rebound. That brings us to our second break of the game. Spartans have fallen behind by a point. We've got 11:18 remaining in the first half.
Recognize Dr. Wilbur in your applause. Dr. Elvira Wilbur.
Happy holidays to everybody throughout the Lansing area on AT&T Broadband. Ben Stark along with Sue Carter and Tracy Rankin. The holiday spirit here at the Breslin Center.
And an interesting stat here that we've noticed, Michigan State now with 12 points in the paint. Central Michigan 0 points in the paint, so that just shows you they're all perimeter oriented.
And those are the 12 points that Michigan State has.
Exactly.
Well, that's the way the coaches like to see it. Ball tipped away by Minna Reese. She'll pick it up. Got a 2-on-1 break. She is left-handed, going off the glass a little hard, though, and the rebound down to Molly Munns. Ball tipped away out of bounds, and it'll go to Michigan State.
On that particular play, when Minna Reese was taking it in, you'd like to see her maybe pull up and just shoot a little soft jump shot there instead of trying to take it all the way in.
She certainly has the range.
Exactly.
It's not like she's got to be within 6 feet of the basket.
Sue, your comment about Minna Reese is pretty much on the mark. She is still a player developing. And in that development process, there sometimes is consistency, but usually not.
Well, I wonder if that redshirt year cooled her off a little bit in the process.
Collier that time fighting through the double team and giving Michigan State a lead, but coming right back for Central Michigan was Desiree Eidson.
Desiree Eidson showing that she's got a plethora of moves in there, able to shoot the ball well from outside and also able to take it in and do a little pirouette.
Maria Recker is open, and there's the touch. Triple for Recker will give Michigan State a 2-point lead.
That's a nice arc to watch. She says it really good for him.
Here's a three-pointer off the back iron from Alicia Rozak. Spartans now being directed by Candace Jackson, lobbing it inside to Pagel, and they're going to give it to Michigan State. Coming into the ball game now, Abby Lollinger. I don't know if I got that right. I think I did. I think it's Lovinger.
Yeah, I think you're correct.
Right?
I think you're right on that.
Because of our pregame cue. Now, Danita Johnson coming in 10 minutes into the ballgame. Pretty late for Danita to get into the rotation.
Yeah, it really is. I'm surprised to see that, but hopefully she can bring some defensive intensity to this ball club. But that's one area that they need to work on here early in the first half.
Collier, easy bucket. That's the way the coaches draw it up.
That was just nice elevation. It was pretty to watch that one.
Just watching this ball club, it's so obvious to see the impact of the new coaches. Player skills and fundamentals, new approach defensively. It's almost like every player on the team now is developing.
Fresh washed uniforms.
That's right, hand washed by the players, I guess.
Take them out down to the red cedar and have them beat them against the rocks.
But that shot by Jennifer Collier, a good example of players knowing what they're doing, being effective.
And I really like their use of their 3-2 matchup zone. It's basically a man-to-man type defense, but they're out extending and using zone principles when they do their defense.
Well, it's an interesting way of incorporating both defensive philosophies.
Kindle hits a bucket.
State's laid on more zones than it's seen.
And ball thrown away that time by Collier, and it's going to go out of bounds to the Chippewas.
In their last game against Dayton, their passing wasn't up to par, and that's what got them into trouble. They had a few turnovers. Right now, we're seeing a little bit of that sloppiness on the pass. Got to make sure that they know exactly where their players are before they make that pass.
Tracy, I want you to tell us about this full court defensive pressure we're starting to see. Of course, it's over on this possession, but we've seen MSU with token pressure all season long. Just try to slow the offense down, but we seem to be getting a different look here tonight.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to do a little 1-2-2 press on the inbounds, trying to get a trap, trying to get some sort of steal early.
And a grab on the way in. It's called against Danita Johnson. That's going to be 7 team fouls against Michigan State. It is bonus time for the Chippewas as Alicia Rozak will go to the line, and head coach Joanne McCauley is wondering what happened with fouls because CMU has yet to commit one.
And Central Michigan, a pretty good free throw shooting team, up close to 70% as a team. So it's not in MSU's best interest to have them at the line this early.
2-point lead for Michigan State as the bonus begins for Central Michigan. And Rozak hits the first.
It's a little holiday charity that wasn't needed.
Well, it's a big team foul advantage, 7-0. And Rozak hits them both, so we're tied for the first time since the opening tip. It is 19-all. As Maria Recker, a powerful drive, they're going to call the block, count the bucket, and Recker will go to the free throw line.
That's got a nice little emotional spark to it. Chance for 3 points coming out of this one.
And that's exactly what Maria Recker wanted to do. You see her here, she just pulls up for the shot. Instead of going all the way in for a layup, she draws the block instead of the charge.
She fails to convert on the 3-point play, but Collier getting the board and then thrown away, and stepping out of bounds for Central Michigan that time was Lovinger.
Well, Tracy, you're right about the passes. They aren't, they're crisp, but they're not to the right person.
Not very accurate.
Yeah.
Inside, Danita Johnson.
Danita's averaging almost 6 points a game now. That's a nice contribution we hadn't seen before in previous years.
4-point lead for Michigan State.
For Michigan State, I think this is a pretty important possession here to get a defensive stop, not allow Central Michigan to score, get a little run of their own going.
Really forcing it that time was Beth Kindle. And it's out of bounds before it came back and hit that rim.
Collier said, "I am skyscraper, hear me roar."
We are under 8 minutes to play. Spartans with a 4-point lead. We'll take another break and be back with more in a moment. Spartans have pulled ahead by a 7 here at the Breslin Center against a very feisty Central Michigan team. Chippewas only 2-6 coming into this game, but they've given MSU a handful. First 13 minutes of the ball game. Takeaway by Pagel. Why pass? Why not just lead the break? There's the pass to Jackson. Count it and the foul.
And that's one area that Julie Pagel is very good at, is her passing. She can dribble the ball up the court. She comes to a nice jump stop and a nice pass inside. You'll see it here. Jump stop right to Candace Jackson, who's able to finish the shot. Great play.
The thing about Julie Pagel is a big player, front line player, but she got a hold of that ball and just took off.
Yeah, she's 5'11", but she moves with a lot of grace. She is solid, however.
Very solid.
Bumps into me and I'm falling over.
Oh, like a rock. And Candace Jackson makes it a 3-point play. Spartans suddenly with a 10-point lead.
Right now, Michigan State throwing a little half-court trap in there. It's throwing Central Michigan off, not able to get the good passes that they were able to get earlier.
Shot clock at 10 now as Molly Munns will kick it back to Henderson in the corner. Shot clock at 5 and an air ball. There it is, though. Heads up play that time by Desiree Eidson.
Got to be some of the few points in the paint.
For Central Michigan, right?
Central has been scoring from the perimeter.
Pagel, power move, kicks it back out and throws it away.
Julie Pagel telling Candace Jackson, hey, that one was my fault, my bad on that one. She thought Candace was going to move down to the side, but Candace stayed right where she was.
So Tracy, talk about this full court pressure here.
Danita Johnson and Candace Jackson trying to slow up the guard play here for Central Michigan, and they're causing Central to use a lot of time up on the 30-second shot clock before they even initiate their half-court offense.
Took them 10 seconds that time to really get started. Off the window, no good that time by Henderson. Foul underneath will go against Central Michigan. And that's going to be on Molly Munns. Give it to Vershawn Jones. And that is only the third team foul by Central Michigan, 14 minutes into this ball game.
And Vershawn sometimes has a habit, because she's such a good leaper, that she doesn't usually have to get in good position to get her rebound. So sometimes she gets a little over the back calls.
It was the footprints going up the backside.
Yeah, exactly.
Michigan State with an 8-point lead inside to Pagel. Power move off the glass, gets the roll.
Julie has a great sense of orientation under the basket. She doesn't lose her position, always knows where she is.
And for you folks at home, hard to believe, but Pagel is a true freshman. It's just amazing to watch her here in her freshman year. Takeaway by Collier down low. Spartans in transition, but they did not have numbers. Danita for 3. Air ball, and Abby Salscheider gets it. Does not reset the shot clock. Collier fighting for position a little hard, and she gets the rebound. And that does reset the shot clock. 5 minutes to play. First half action. Spartans with a 10-point lead. Cross-court pass intercepted that time by Henderson. Is going to be an over and back, and just in time calling timeout was Molly Munns. This will be a 30-second timeout, so we'll stay right here.
She knew where she was all the time.
Just a refresher for those of you at home who are used to men's basketball or even, I guess, high school basketball. But here at the women's college level, there is no 10-second line. But you do have over and back, and that's almost what just occurred.
Yeah, and it's nice not to have that 10-second rule when you're a point guard trying to bring it up against pressure. You just kind of have to relax. I know in the men's game, they kind of start to get a little nervous as the 10 seconds starts approaching, but it is a nice thing for the women's game.
A lot of good seats here at the Breslin Center if you want to come down and watch MSU women's basketball. Very exciting ball club. Once again, it'll be Thursday, January 4th. Ohio State will be in town. And we will not be televising that game on AT&T broadband.
Oh, it's always fun to see the Buckeyes.
And Ohio State playing very well here early. One of the top teams in the Big Ten non-conference right now.
Shot clock goes at 18 as the Chippewas inbounded the ball. That's Henderson and Jackson, as the shot clock now is at 10. So a lot of short possessions for Central Michigan. And this is Molly Munns picking it back over, and inside, just beating the buzzer was Beth Kindle. Rebound to Jackson. Now Salscheider looking for an angle, losing the ball on the way up, but a foul is called.
She bounced her way into the paint looking for a body on the way. And she found one.
Molly Munns with her first foul of the game.
And Abby Salscheider taking it in strong, trying to get a foul called. She did get one, in fact, as bodies went flying.
It was kind of a boinkity-boink play.
Just over 4 minutes to play in the first half. Spartans still with the 10-point lead. And they are on a 12-2 run right now. Danita Johnson will drive, put it up. She's going to get a charge called against her. A little too aggressive by Danita.
She took that defensive mentality and just tried to score with it.
And it's team foul number 8, but not a shooting foul. Here's this pressure, Tracy. Players are hitting the deck left and right.
And Lori Henderson for Central Michigan, not a true ball handler. So with Abby Salscheider guarding her, it's going to make things a little bit difficult for her bringing the ball up.
Under 4 minutes to play. Spartans hanging on to a 10-point lead. Molly Munns throws one up. Pagel with the board. How long before Julie Pagel has a 20-rebound game? Just an amazing thought for a true freshman. But she's already had 15 this year.
You know, I just looked her up. She's
Skelly,
oh,
nice shot inside.
Julie Pagel is thinking about majoring in broadcasting, so you may have a long string of guest commentators, Ben. We keep training them for you. That'll be fun to have her in class.
Yeah, that's inevitable, Sue. You'll have her in class at some point.
I feel like I teach them all.
We are approaching 3 minutes in the first half. Long shot by Lovinger. Missing. Loose ball down to Central Michigan. 3 minutes to play. Spartans now with a 12-point lead. And that's a 14-2 run. Contesting the entry pass was Pagel, but she'll be called for the foul.
Yeah, a little larceny there, trying to reach in and pick a pocket.
She has had her share of 25 steals in just 10 games.
She's played exceptionally well, I think, in all areas. Steals, rebounds, scoring, just bringing it all to the table.
Danita Johnson sits down, and Minna Reese comes in for Michigan State.
Julie, by the way, will have a companion next year when another member of Utica's team, who's now a senior, comes to Michigan State.
We may talk about that at halftime. We got the news that there's been an official rating given to MSU's incoming class. Candace Jackson from this year's freshman class makes it a 14-point Spartan lead.
Well, that is a lot of on-ball pressure, Tracy.
I think that was one key coming in, is they wanted to do a lot of ball pressure because Central Michigan doesn't have great ball handling guards.
Another steal for Pagel. 2.5 to play. Here come the Spartans. Spartans are just kind of doing it methodically here tonight. Minna Reese for 3.
3 points for Minna Reese.
And great inside-outside combination. They passed the ball inside of Julie Pagel. Julie faced the basket, didn't have anything, and just kicked it right back out to Minna Reese.
And it's well within her range.
Under 2 to play now. Ball taken away by Candace Jackson. So 3 on 2. Jackson, and the foul.
Basket is good by Candace Jackson.
Great play there by Candace Jackson. She set it up with a little hesitation move coming in there. And as you see here on the replay, a little hesitation crossover and then right into her shot. And Molly Munns way out of position for that, able to draw the foul.
Kelly Zubak now coming into the game for Michigan State, and a 30-second timeout being called by Central Michigan. It is 40-21. Unbelievable, but that is a 21-2 run by Michigan State.
It was just a matter of time, I think, before Michigan State would come out of the blocks and put a run together. They were a little bit sluggish to start, but as soon as they put on that press and initiated some of that half-court trapping, that threw Central Michigan for a loop a little bit.
Yeah, they made the adjustments precisely that they needed to.
And here we go, talking about inside out, right inside Julie Pagel. Julie Pagel faces, kicks it right back out to Minna Reese, who drains the three-point shot.
I have the sense that Julie has great peripheral vision.
Oh, yes.
I mean, more than the average player.
Candace Jackson, who started the season on fire and then has sort of cooled off the past few weeks, but she is back in action tonight with 7 points and a chance to make it 8. With 1:51 to play in the first half, Spartans with a 40-21 to 21 lead. It was tied at 19 just moments ago. So it is now a 22-2 run. And now we've got our full timeout with a 20-point lead. Michigan State, 1:51 to play in the first half.